So welcome everyone to today's Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework bi-weekly sync. It is November the 2nd and I am your host, Garry Trinder. I'm a cloud developer advocate who works for Microsoft. So today, what do we have for you? We have the latest update on the SharePoint Framework, and then we're going to have updates across all the community projects. We're going to have picture time with the together mode, and then we'll get on to the real stars of the day. So we have 3 demos today. First up, we have Nishkalank Bezawada showing us how to manage extensions for subscriptions. We have then Adam Wójcik, who is going to be introducing us to the Viva Toolkit V2. And then finally, we have Paolo Pialorsi, who will be showing us how to build a search ace for Viva Connections with SharePoint Framework 1.18. So if you are new to the community, we have tons of community resources. We have videos, we have discussion groups, we have open source projects, we have galleries with sample projects in them as well. Lots of links on the screen, but only one link to remember, aka.ms/community/home will get you to all of these resources. Please take a look at them and join in the conversation. We also have other community calls in the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community. We have a weekly call which takes place every Tuesday. This is with Microsoft speakers, and we also have monthly calls for Power Platform and Office add-ins. We also have another bi-weekly community call with community speakers, and we have also this call, the Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework bi-weekly call as well. If you need to get any information about any of these calls, the best place to go is aka.ms/community/calls, and you'll find all of the times, dates, and invites to add to your calendars. And also check out the social media accounts as well, because we're always publishing the next sessions and the next calls on there. Speaking of which, the next weekly call, so next Tuesday, we have 3 speakers. We have Dan Wallin, who's going to show integrating organizational data to Azure OpenAI Service with Microsoft Graph. We have Raghav Mishra, who is going to show a winner of the Power AI hack, the best DEI solution. And we have Vesa Juvonen, who's going to show how to import an existing SharePoint framework solution and continue development with the Teams toolkit. And if you are really interested in kind of getting involved in these calls, you've been working on something, you want to present about it, we want to know. So if you're interested in presenting, please go to aka.ms/community/request/demo, fill out the form, and we'll arrange a slot for you on this call. Moving over to David.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Garry. So, Friends, Sharing is Caring is a program here that provides you hands-on guidance. What does that mean? It means that we're going to get in Teams calls together and learn how to do things together. Some things like, hey, I don't know, what's GitHub? What's this pull request nonsense that everybody's talking about? It's so cool, but I don't know anything about it. We're going to go through all that together. They're safe space. They're not recorded. And what we have coming up next actually very soon is those videos. So we did start creating some on-demand videos so that you can absolutely consume them after the calls if you need a refresher, and we're setting up some office hours. Sometimes you've got just some basic questions that you want answered. You don't want to have to come in for the full hour or hour and a half sessions. We're going to set up some office hours throughout the weeks and months so that you can just pop in, ask a question, pop out, and we'll work together. Now, once you have contributed, though, we want to recognize you for all the work that you're doing. So if we move to the next slide, we will talk about our recognition program. This is a program that's powered by Credly. It's showcasing your contributions. We've got all of our 2023 badges available and more coming soon. In fact, we just finished Oktoberfest. It wrapped up, and we're moving into the season of Getting. So plenty of opportunity. The next 2 months, you've got an opportunity to get that season of Getting. There's absolutely no cost. We just need you to opt in. We've got some more slice of samples, fun and innovative ways to show how you can contribute to the samples galleries. So definitely get involved. We see all those badges getting shared on the social spheres. Keep doing that. Let everybody know that it is something that they can take part of as well. And there is absolutely no cost. Just opt in at ak.ms/community/recognition, and we will make sure to track all the amazing work that you're doing and recognize it. Garry, back to you.
Fantastic. Cheers, David. Over to Vesa for the latest on SharePoint framework.
Yes, quickly recap from the PM side of the house or engineering side. So 1.18.1 release candidate is out. We're looking into releasing 1.18.1, I think next week or week after right now. So that's a really small, not actually even, not a bug fixing thing. There's a new feature there, which is related on theme handling within the Viva Connection mobile. So nothing super dramatical there, but it's coming as a new version as well. Let's go to the following slide. This just a review on the growth patterns, which we're seeing, and it is absolutely mind-boggling. We're talking about tens of millions of monthly active users on custom SharePoint framework components in Microsoft 365. So, and it keeps on growing. Just a dramatical or massive growth month after month, which is super awesome. Let's go to the following slide. Quick summary slide. Nothing special actually here. So I didn't update that much. 1.18 is still the latest GA version with the 18 support and all of that. 1.81 has that Viva Connection Dark theme support for mobile, so we're able to change the behavior of Viva Connection cards based on that API that's documented obviously in release notes. And then 1.19 still focused on Viva Connection. I will get more on the SharePoint and SharePoint portal stuff pretty soon as well. There's a lot of stuff in the roadmap as we get the engineering plates cleaned. Not SPFx related features. Viva Connection Advanced Card Designer is going to go out pretty soon, actually, to public preview or public experience, and then the bot framework part, Viva PnPjs, is a bit delayed until January 2024. Those are not SPFx, but they are actually the same engineering team behind of them, so kind of are related on this bigger picture. But that's it from the engineering side. Let's move on to the individual projects.
Cheers, Vesa. Thanks for that update. Okay, moving on to the open source projects updates. PnPjs client-side libraries. I don't think Julie is here, so I'll cover this. So version 3.20 is going to be released in, I guess, a week, November the 13th, adding a chat message, a parameter object. The version for the next version of PnPjs is underway, so if you're interested in that, check out the issue 2678 on the planning boards, and check out the nightly builds as well, which you can get npm using npm install at pnp/sp at v3 nightly save. So if you want to catch up on PnPjs, go to pnp.github.io/PnPjs and you'll find all the documentation. Moving on, so CLI for Microsoft 365. So it's a new month, so we've just released a new version of the CLI, which is version 7.1.0. This introduces two new commands, one for Azure AD or Microsoft Entra ID now, that lists users in a group, and SharePoint Online to get the current logged in user. There's been plenty of improvements in the actual CLI itself, with documentation fixes and improvements, some updates to our code base, and improving some of our outputs on our commands. If you want to try the latest version, you can get that from npm using the @latest tag, and also if you're using our Docker container as well, you can use the @latest tag there to get the latest version. Please check out the release notes for all of the details of all the changes, ak.ms/cli-m365/notes. And if you haven't joined our Discord server yet, but you're interested in the CLI, maybe you're using it, you just want to chat to people, ask questions, best place is to join that server. So that's aka.ms/cli-m365/discord, and that is the invite, and you'll be able to join. Okay, moving on, we have the Microsoft 365 Developer Proxy. We have a new beta release, so this is 0.13 beta 2. This is due for release at the end of the month. One of the new features that we've added is the ability to inspect requests using the Chrome developer tools. So currently, you're able to just see the requests that are going through the proxy through the console, and that's great to give you an overview. But if you you want to delve into each individual request, now you can use the Chrome dev tools, which you already know and love, to do that with the proxy. We've also got a few bug fixes as well that we've worked on, and we're looking at other features as well, like simulating different sizes of tenants and also making some updates to our documentation. So if you're interested in the proxy, go to aka.ms/m365/proxy. You'll find the latest release, the beta release, and all our documentation as well. Okay, moving on to the reusable SPFx controls. So we've got new controls released. So 3.15.0, a term set navigation control, and enhancements for several controls, dynamic form, folder explorer, modern taxonomy picker, as well as various fixes. We've also got updates for the React property controls, ability to select multiple base templates, and again, various fixes. Lots of contributors here. Thank you for all your contributions to this project and moving it forward. If you're interested in finding out about the PnP reusable SPFx controls, check out the Twitter account at M365 PnP controls. Moving on over to Adam for Viva Connections Toolkit.
Yeah, so Viva Connections Toolkit is a VS Code extension that will boost your productivity in SharePoint framework development. I will have a short demo today, so be sure to check it out in action on the second part. We just released a minor release v2.1, and we are planning another one, v2.2, which will give additional improvement in the CI/CD pipeline action that will create it using internally in the pipeline node version 18 when you will be generating it for a SharePoint Framework 1.18.0 and above projects. We created a backlog for v3, so if you are interested, go to aka.ms/vscode to check out the v3 milestone and what we are planning for the next major release. It's gonna be a huge one for sure, and probably I will do some spoilers a bit during my demo. That's about it. For sure, give it a try, and happy coding, everybody.
Thanks, Adam. Moving on to PnP Modern Search. We have office hours. So Casper, who's on the call, is holding the new office hours call for the Modern Search. So if you're interested in that, go to aka.ms/PnP/Modern Search office hours and join in the discussions. We have the version 4.1.0, 10 in the dev branch that's been worked on as well, with lots of improvements there for support for new SharePoint framework and graph toolkit as well. And we've got 4.9.3 for the latest kind of release, which is removing app insights logging. But please take a look at all the release notes for all the changes.
Thank you, Gary. And I also want to mention that I know Frank has something cooking, so there might be some new things coming through PnP Modern Search as well.
Fantastic. Sorry, Mikael, I didn't realize you were on the call. Okay, PnP SPFx samples. David?
Yes, Hugo is out on a much-deserved vacation, so while he is playing in the water in the Caribbean, we have samples available. He's working on processing them even though he's out, so keep an eye on that. We do love new samples. Please check them out, aka.ms SPFx extensions and web parts, and keep those updates. And again, if you can see documentation changes or small little updates, or you want to collab with someone, let them know, reach out. Definitely, that is a way to contribute. Other than that, we've got Aces, and I think Anoop's going to cover that for us.
Right, so we've got one new sample from Emery Thomas, which is an input card with which we can add an item to a list. So do check that out in the ACES repository, aka.ms/SPFx-ACES. And please feel free to contribute more samples. You'll get a lovely badge as well for this. So that's it from my side for the ACES.
Thanks, Anoop. Okay, it's now picture time. Vesa, over to you.
Here we go. Now the order should be working, and I'm just setting up the. Here we go. Oh, that looks strange. Together. Wow. So why are you actually over there? That's super interesting. Let me share my screen. So I'll take over the presentation, and we'll see how do we make this work. Where is Teams? There you are. And now Teams, the Together mode has been not working properly for a while. So I think you had a problem earlier this week as well. Together mode.
We had the same thing on Tuesday. So we tried large gallery, but that wasn't even working either.
Come on. There was a bit of a strange. Oh, Garry took it. Oh, see, David, you were there. So I guess there is no way to do this. So let's see if we can do the large gallery, because Together mode unfortunately is not working. Nope. Could not select for everyone. No, I just wanted to select for me. Thank you, teams, for helping. One more try.
Never mind. Now I got Together mode if you want me to share my screen.
Oh, that's if you have it. How is it on you, but not for me?
I have no. It wasn't working for me though. Yeah. So come back.
Oh, there we go. Excellent. So let me actually start Camtasia. You cannot see me recording, but this is working. So this is much better than nothing. Absolutely. And let me select that screen, and I will put the recording on, and let's do some hands waving, everybody, or reactions. Yay! It works. Excellent. Technology is always fun. Awesome to see familiar faces again on the call. Really, really cool. Garry, let's get to the demos. Awesome stuff.
Great stuff. So our first demo of the day, we have Nishkalank, who's going to talk about managing extensions for subscriptions. Nishkalank, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Garry. Let me start off with the slide. All right. Okay. Perfect. Thanks once again. Today, my topic is on managing SharePoint extensions.
Don't think we can see the slides. I don't think they've come through.
Not even now. I'm sorry.
Nope, no slides. Now it's starting.
There we go. Got it. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So today is my topic is on managing SharePoint extensions for subscriptions using SPFx. This sample SPFx extension is to manage list-level subscriptions, which displays the list of webhooks and action to renew the webhook expiry dates of the respective webhook subscriptions. So before I jump into the demo, I would like to introduce myself briefly. I am Nishkalank Bezawada. People call me as Nish. I am working as a solution architect at Bravero AB, based in Stockholm, Sweden. I am an active PnP contributor. So far, I have received these badges for my contributions, and many more are yet to come. There are few links. These are the few links where you can reach me out, but I'm mostly active on Discord server. So today's agenda is I'll be focusing on SharePoint webhooks, the use case I have followed, the extension, and a brief demo. So SharePoint webhooks. Webhooks enable us to build applications that subscribe to receive notification on specific events that occur in SharePoint. These events are a document is added, deleted, item checked out, checked in, etc. Webhooks are easier to develop and consume than of remote event receivers. As remote event receivers uses the idea to have a SOAP endpoint, usually implemented using WCF, wherein webhooks uses regular HTTP services like Web APIs. So list webhooks covers vast range of list events corresponding to the list item changes. List events include item deleted, updated, deleted, checked out, checked in, unchecked out, file moved, version deleted, etc. So many events are there. Well, SharePoint webhooks provide a simple notification pipeline so your application can be aware of these changes. So the use case that I have used is from the Microsoft documentation itself. I have not completely implemented this, but I have implemented in a similar way as shown here in the diagram. I have created a SharePoint webhook as an Azure function, which uses the HTTP trigger. The function URL is then added as an webhook subscription uh, to the intended lists or libraries. This function will be triggered whenever there is a change in the lists or libraries. Once it is triggered, the function will receive the notification from SharePoint and process the notification. This notification is then added to storage queue for further processing using queue trigger function. You may either add this notification to queues or directly process this notification in the same function itself, but it is recommended to add it to the queue so you maintain the records of the notification itself. So the most important part here is get changes API, which is used during processing the notification. This API is to determine what actually has changed to that particular changed item. So this is a basic scenario, as we all know, and hence can be implemented in many ways. I myself have used this in my previous projects where we had to manage all these subscription at hub level, which I had already presented in my last demo, but I thought to also implement it using an extension here today. I mean, when I said the word managing here, it is because the webhook subscriptions are set to expire after 180 days by default. And we have many ways to renew the webhook subscription. The most effective way is to use PowerShell. Um, this is where my idea has come to implement it using an extension which fetches the webhook subscriptions using REST API by making some simple HTTP calls and also to renew those webhooks whose dates are expired. So the extension, this extension is a sample which is developed to renew the subscription date of the list webhooks. The idea of the extension was that I can manage the webhooks from the list level itself. The associated webhooks which are available are fetched and displayed in a table. So the extension also checks if the webhooks are expired at the current point of time. If expired, it will give us possibility to renew it through the button, just in a button click away. So let me show you a quick demo here. Okay, no, I'm sorry. All right, so let me refresh it, and here is the command. Manage subscriptions. This extension fetches the webhooks which are associated for that particular lists or libraries. On click on the command, it will a panel is popped out as shown. This panel contains the list of associated webhooks. I will quickly go to another list where we can also see a different option where I can see this webhook has been expired, and it also gives me an option to renew the subscription. So just clicking on it, the webhook will be renewed for by default for 180 days from today. Well, yes. Sorry about that. So this is the a small code sample which I would like to show. The get subscriptions method uses get and fetches the available subscriptions. And renewing the subscriptions, I used patch method and sent a payload. The payload contains expiration date, time, and the notification URL as shown here. This is the patch method. It is a simple HTTP call as shown, and it is used to renew the subscription. So this sample is available in PnP samples gallery, and this is just an apt sample or example on how we can work on SharePoint Webhook subscriptions, which can be, of course, be improved in any way that is appropriate for one's own needs. And yes, with this, I conclude my third demo in the community. I thank the community for giving me this opportunity. I thank Vesa, David. Hugo is not there here, but yes, Hugo as well from the community team. You're awesome. I thank Giacomo Pozzoni, Joel Rodrigues, and Adam Wójcik for your constant support. I thank Roger Back, Stefan Roxbury, and all the team members from Bravero. Finally, thanks everyone. You rock. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Nish. That was a great presentation. Great that you've kind of highlighted the people in the community as well that have helped you as well. It's fantastic to see that all the names of people up there are getting involved and helping you with presentations and community involvement. So fantastic. As was mentioned, Adam in the thank you notes is next. Adam, do you want to talk about introducing the Viva toolkit?
Yes, I do want to talk about it for sure. And I hope you see my screen. If no, please do let me know.
Yes, I've got
it's nothing there yet. It's going to be in a bit. First of all, I want to say, Nish, also thank to you as well. Yeah, I remember your first demo was like just for me it was yesterday, and now I see another and another one. So you also rock, and thank you for spending time with us and contributing to this community. Your awesome knowledge. So great. Okay, folks, a bit about me. Actually, okay, my name is Adam. I'm father. I'm a standard dev. I'm one of the PnP core team folks. Yeah, so I try to organize, help out the life around this community. I am a maintainer of the free PnP or PnP related products like CLI for Microsoft 365 or free VS Code extensions, which will boost your productivity and scripting, or SharePoint framework development. And this was the Viva Connections Toolkit, which I will be presenting today. Don't be afraid to reach me out there directly on LinkedIn, X, or our community Discord server. Okay, let's move on. So what is actually Viva Connections Toolkit? I will be speeding a bit because I want to show a lot. So it's a kind of an app that supports everything you can imagine around SharePoint framework development. It's a VS Code extension, so it's there directly where you write your code, and it uses beneath the same tooling you probably already use when you develop your SharePoint framework solutions like the SPFx CMON generator. And we also use our PnP familiar products like the CLI to give you awesome action boosters, or we leveraged all of the PnP sample galleries like ACES, extensions, Webpart, so you don't have to start your new projects from scratch, and I will show it in a bit. Why would you use such an extension if you can already do most of the things with the tooling you already use? Well, basically to save a lot of time and maybe do it a bit more without switching context from VS Code. The extension provides a lot of functionalities that will give you confidence about your local environment, new ways to create your project, based, for example, on an existing sample from our PnP sample galleries. Oh yeah, there's the environment list. I will show it in a bit. All of the gold tasks you need. Coding snippets, which will boost your coding with pre-configured templates to create, for example, an SPFx classic component or a hook. You can upgrade your project, validate, and so much more. I will be presenting only for. I don't have much time, so I will 4 or 3, but we'll see. Depends. But I will try to cover all the latest things that we added to the V2. So if there's something I won't show on this demo and you are particularly interested in, please be sure to go to the repository, GitHub repository of this project and check the docs. All of the docs have media content, movies, how each feature works. And if something is particularly interesting, do let me know, and I will do a separate demo with a deep dive, especially on this feature, like for example, deploying a project, granting API permissions and renaming and stuff like that. Okay, let's jump into the demo. So the interesting part, first of all, if you never use VS Code extensions or Viva Connections Toolkit specifically, how to get it? Well, really easy. You have your VS Code, you go to the marketplace, you type Viva, currently is the name we use for this product, and you just click install, and then it will install the latest major or minor version. If you want to be at the edge, like me, and using the latest thing we are currently developing and testing, you have to opt in for a beta, like a pre-release. There's a specific button here that you want to switch to the pre-release, and then you will see this pre-release kind of version that it's you're using the kind of stable version, but it's still beta because you are using the features you are under our development. So cool. And I already have this installed, and in my I don't have any specific project opened in my Visual Studio Code. And if I go to the Viva Connections Toolkit, if it's not part of the Viva of a SharePoint framework context, I will see a welcome experience, which will help me get started. So for example, I can check my dependencies. It will look at my local environment, which node versions are using, if it's either node 16 or 18, so the one currently valid for the latest SharePoint framework version. If I have all the needed dependencies installed, if I wouldn't have, like for example, Gulp, you'll already see an install button that, hey, you're missing Gulp CLI or the Yeoman SharePoint generator. And I won't show this because I don't have time. I don't want you just to look at the screen going the npm install about it, but I'm ready to go, yeah. We can also create a new project. It's the same scaffolding process as you would get from the Yeoman SharePoint generator. So it's really common, and you can create, and we support any kind of project. So Webparts, extension, adaptive cards. If you will be using Node 18, you will see the new adaptive cards templates. Probably Paolo will also explain it in a bit. Paolo, sorry. If you are using Node 16, then you will see the old adaptive cards extension templates. So everything you can dream of, and that has the same kind of steps to generate a new project. But of course, you don't have to start from scratch. You can leverage our existing samples. So we have leveraged all the samples like ACES samples, scenarios. So what is a scenario? Scenario is like a sample, but with guidance. So step-on-step guidance using CodeTour. And you don't have a CodeTour? Well, yes, you do. Because Viva Connections Toolkit is also a bundle. So it comes together with 2 more extensions that will boost your learning productivity, for example, CodeTour or coding. So it has those Elio-developed SPFx snippets. Great. We also have the extension samples gallery and Webpart. This is the one I will be using. I'm a totally family guy, and I'm already thinking about Christmas, to be honest, to have some rest. And we have a really cool holiday calendar app created by one of our contributors, Harmin Derf. Thank you very much for that. We can go directly to the repo to this project, or with a single click and selecting the workspace and giving a name. I will give it my holiday app. Yeah, app. Cool name, and it will download directly this project from the PnP samples gallery and reopen Visual Studio Code directly in this sample. And in a bit, it will run npm install for me. This is really cool. But we won't be waiting for it to finish. I have already done it before, but before we jump further into the details, let's see. This project was developed using SharePoint framework 1 that had the console, because it's starting the npm install in a bit. This project was this I will present in a bit. This project was developed using SPFx 1.16. So basically, I want to be at the edge. So I want to be using the latest and greatest. What do I need to change to transfer from SPFx 1.16 to 1.18? Just do I need to only change this version, or some dependencies? Or do I need something else? Yeah, maybe change my project. What do I do? Do I have to go to the docs, to the guidance? Well, you don't have to. With Viva Connections Toolkit, we have an action for that. And now I move back to the extension, and it looks totally different. Yes, it is, because it's not the welcome experience anymore. I'm in the context of my project, and it has new features to help me get on with my project. Yeah. So first of all, we have an account view. I'm already logged in. I won't present you today how you can sign in, but it's a regular device that's similar like CLI for Mac 65, logging to your tenant. And then you have to do it only once. So I don't have to do it today and in time. Yeah, I do it only once, and then it remembers my credentials. Currently in the account, we only show the account, but we are planning more cool features and information about your tenant in the V3. Then we have the environment tab, which will show you all the app catalogs and also site collection app catalogs. So we don't need to remember about them. You don't need to go to the admin. You have all of them here with a single click. You can go to this app catalog. We have all the gulp tasks that comes together with the SPFx package. Then actions, I will be talking about it in a bit, and help and feedback, which is really awesome for someone that is new in SPFx development. It has links all to the official MS documentation about SharePoint framework or graph or Viva Connection extensibility, learning paths, additional tooling which will help you like adaptive cards, how to set up your developer tenant, and how to connect with our awesome community. And if you feel like, okay, I don't need it, I already know it, I'm a pro, yeah? So you can hide it, whatever you do, or you can hide it forever. It's totally customizable like any other Viva VS Code extension, actually. And we have this upgrade action. Okay, cool. So this action will actually give me the answer, what do I need to change? And it gives you guidance. It won't do the upgrade for you because your project could be customized. And we wanted to break it anymore. So we want to break it. So it just gives you a report, what do you need to change with all the details, why you need to change it. But at the very bottom, you have a small summary section with a single script and a couple of manual steps you need to do to transfer this project from SharePoint 1.16 to 1.18. Boom, that's all. And that's what I already did. So I will change to my second screen. And here, as you can see, I already transfer to the latest SPFx version. If I would run the upgrade action here again, I get the, okay, you don't need to upgrade it. It's already done. Oh man, I forgot about one feature, yeah? This notification that we shown, yeah? So I reopened a project and Viva Connection Toolkit already said to me, hey, I can already correct something in your project. What does it mean, yeah? So what does it actually mean is that I'm logging to my tenant, which is called tenant to check something, yeah. And the serve, so in the serve configuration, I'm using a placeholder. So if I would run group serve, it wouldn't work because it wouldn't go to my tenant. Well, Viva Connections Toolkit already tells you that it can align it, and we're clicking yes, it's changed this link of it, so you don't need to think about it. It's really awesome, yes. I think it's bananas, and it's a good small feature, but it's cool. I always forget about it. Okay, anyway, the project is upgraded. More things I did. I already run the gulp bundle and the gulp project, so I have my my project ready for me in the SharePoint folder, my app, and I already am running the gulp serve, so we don't need to wait for it to boot up, and I added it to a GitHub repository, so we will git track our changes, what is changing. Okay, cool. I have my solution. Let's work with this Webpart a bit. I created the contributor that added this temple, added the partial script that does everything for you. Cool, amazing. Creates your list. I added one event, Christmas. I'm waiting for it. And I just want to go observe it. I just want to give it a try. I don't want to deploy it on my tenant. I don't want another package. I just want to edit and see it in action. Okay, and let's see. It doesn't work. Lovely. Why? Did I do something wrong? Yeah, I did. Of course I did, because the sample is perfect. I have access denied permission, yeah? So it's probably I'm lacking something. What I'm lacking? Yeah, let's look. So I'll just quit the serve. And what's actually I forget about is that this extension needs additional graph API permissions to get going. Okay, so how do I get those on the SharePoint so I can prove it? Well, now I need to deploy my package. Yeah, bummer. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to test it out in the serve. Yeah. Well, with Viva Connections Toolkit, you can still do it. There's a new grant API permissions that you can just click, and it will go over this web API list, and it will add those permissions directly to the SharePoint. So it will be visible in the SharePoint admin center here in the web API permissions. Let's see if it's running, but maybe I can refresh and I'll be lucky it's already done. So I did a lot of talk, yeah, and I'm quiet. Okay, so permissions granted. I hope I refreshed it in the correct moment, and we will see those. Okay, it's already here. I didn't need to deploy my package. Wow, this is super duper, right? And I can just approve it. Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot skip this step. Okay, in the meantime, I'll hear my serve. I don't need to type it. I need to remember this command, any other serve kind of config. You have all of the gulp tasks directly here for a single click. I'll approve my permissions, wait for the serve to boot up. And then we can see that the Webpart will be actually working live. But let's move on, and then maybe I will move back to see it in action. Okay, one other features that Of course, if you want to deploy, you don't need to do it manually. So I didn't mean that you need to go to the app catalog, upload the package. No. If you have Viva Connections Toolkit, you're also good to go. You just click this one deploy project, and it will be deploying if the pre-built package directly to one of the site catalogs you will pick. So you can pick a tenant or one of the site level app catalogs. This is all supported, yeah. Okay, and let's say I did some development, I tried it out, I like it already. I want some kind of thing that will deploy it every time I will change it. So let's say I have it in my repository, and every time I push something to the main branch, I want it to automatically show a new package in my app catalog. Okay, in the meantime, let's add this up and see that it actually worked with those permissions. I hope it did. Okay, it did. I see my Christmas upcoming. Cool. I already feel those presents. Okay, let's move on. So we have a CI/CD GitHub workflow. Currently, we only support GitHub, but in the V3, we are planning to support Azure DevOps as well. Let's kick it off. Okay, what will be the name of my workflow? It will be a cool flow. And every time I push to the main, I want it to deploy my package automatically. Yes, do I want to trigger it manually? Yes, of course. And there are two ways you can authenticate from the GitHub workflow to your tenant using application registration. It's the more recommended way, specifically we're using in production. Today, I will be using user kind of authentication. It's okay for dev, but dev environment, it won't support if your account that you're using has MFA, yeah? Do I want to deploy to the tenant app catalog? No, I want to go to site level. I don't want to be already that, okay, I want to deploy it everywhere. Let's go to the tenant app catalog, whatever, right? So I have my demo app catalog. You see, it's not here. I'll add this app catalog here. Do I want to be deployed to the local tenant? No. Do I want to override the package? Yes. Okay. So it's just a couple of questions and generated something. Let's see. Okay, it generated this flow. I don't know if you guys understand YAML. I don't know, but I have something working. Yeah, I hope it's working. So let's just add magic commit to my repo and see what GitHub will do with it. Yeah. In the meantime, I can explain. Of course, if you want customize your flow sooner or later, you'll need to learn YAML. Just let me sign my commit 123 123, right? Awesome password, and let's run this git push. Okay, so sooner or later you're gonna have to learn YAML. But if you don't want to start and you don't want to learn already, and you don't want to have some pipeline just to have something working like a CI/CD kind of thing, Viva Connections Toolkit will create a very simple one with a single click and a click and a couple of answers. So it checks out your project. You use Node 16 still. So for SPFx 1.18, it will use Node 18 and next minor version. It does the npm install bundle package. Then it uses CLI for Microsoft 365 GitHub Actions to log into your tenant using user and password. So these are secrets you have to add manually. So the Viva Connections Toolkit won't do it for you. There's a manual step. You can go to the wiki, the extensions wiki, to go over this in great detail, how to do it on GitHub, and also the app registration kind of authentication as well. And then it will deploy it to my site app catalog. Cool. Let's go to the repository. Let's see. Okay, it's not actually this one. I don't have it here. Sorry for that. Yeah, it's the demo one. Okay, there's my add commit magic, and it's already doing something. So there is this flow running, right? Cool. I didn't have that before. So there's a new deploy solution, cool app flow, great. And I can even run it manually. This is something I want to do, so I can restart it whatever I want. And it's already going on under the hood. Let's see how much time. I don't have any more time, so I hope it will speed up a bit. Okay. In the meantime, the one last thing I can cover today, sorry, I cannot cover it all, is the rename feature. So let's say you create your app with a wrong name. How many times you put the test name in the application name or whatever? And now where do we need to change the name? Is it in the URC? Is it in the package JSON? Where is this name to have it fixed? Well, there is a single action for it, rename, and I'll change it to my holiday application. And I want to generate a new ID. Cool. And let's see the Git changes. Oh, okay. So it was actually the package JSON, but also README. I would forget about it, right? And also in the package solution.json. So cool. A single action that does this boost for you. Okay, it's still running the flow, npm install, and then it's bundling. Let's give me just one. I know I already stretched my time, but please bear with me just this 1 single minute. And then this will be the last thing I will show today, so for that, but maybe next time we'll do a follow-up when we will see amazing features how Viva Connections Toolkit can help you extensively with coding your application using snippets. So there are a lot of coding snippets. You just type SPFx / and you can see these are pre-ready templates that will generate a block of code. This could be a simple block of code or a really huge one, like a specific component, all ready just to kick off. Yeah. Okay, come on. I think I don't have much more time. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that it's deployed. Yeah. Okay, it's bundling. So last 15 seconds. So now it's using logging. So it's actually using those secrets values I added before to my repository. You can do it in the repository settings and in the here actions secrets. So this is something I needed to do manually before. Yeah. Okay, so it's already done because it's posted. Let's see if it was deployed. This is my PnP demo. Just let's refresh the page. Cool, it's there. The data doesn't lie, right? So it's done. Thanks a lot, and sorry for stretching the time. And my last words, I just want to say thank you all, Rock, thank you for spending time with us in this community and contributing. Give the solution and the repository a check and join our community Discord server to connect. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll pass my voice to the next presenter.
Thank you very much, Adam. Wow, I think is the only thing I can say to that. So many things packed into that tool. It's fantastic to see. Awesome developer experience. Absolutely amazing. Great work. Okay, let's move quickly on to our next presenter, Paolo. Do you want to take it over?
Thank you, Garry. Thank you. And now we are going to talk about how we can build a search adaptive card extension for Viva Connection using SharePoint Framework 1.18. I'm Paolo or Pablo, up to you. And today we are going to see how we can extend with the latest release of SharePoint Framework, the Viva Connection dashboard. In fact, Microsoft in version 1.18 introduced a new way of defining the card views in the ACEs. And there are the new so-called flexible card views, where you can build the UI of a card view based on a set of predefined components. And there are predefined outlines for these card views. So for example, we have the basic card view, the image card view, the search card view, which will be the focus of today, as well as many more. And they introduced a new base type, which is called base components card view, that we should inherit from whenever we want to create a card view in an ACE. Focusing our attention on the search card view, that one is based on a text box and on a button to trigger a search query. And there will be a non-change event that we can subscribe to in order to get the notification when the user will click on the search button, and we can get the search query to execute our actual and real search against any kind of backend API or repository that we want to query. And it can be Microsoft, SharePoint REST, any third-party APIs. So let's move to the demo and let me share with you what I have built and what I'm going to share with you as a sample. So first of all, let's start from the sample gallery. We should all know what the sample gallery is. It's a repository, online repository under adoption.microsoft.com. You can find it under solutions and sample solution gallery. And from here, you can browse a bunch, more than 1,700 samples made by the community for the community. Here you can find also the sample that I'm going to talk about, right here, the search sample gallery ACE. And the idea of this sample is to search for the sample gallery from within the Viva Connection dashboard. So here we can search for something like, I don't know, themes. I can search for all of the samples with themes in their description or title, just to make an example. But behind the scene of this sample solution gallery, we actually have a REST API which is available if you like, and there is a search sample endpoint that we can use. And here I can search, for example, for Viva, providing a JSON query, and I can get back the list of samples that I have in the sample gallery. There are 89 so far, all of them talking or covering the Viva topic. So what I've done was to create an adaptive card extension based on the search card view template, which is exactly this one that you see on my screen right now. And through this one, I can search the sample gallery using this UI. So I can click on the button and I can get the whole list of results which are related to the team's search query, or I can search for Viva and so on and so forth. Of course, you can play with paging of the results and stuff like that. And by clicking on any of these items, you will be brought to the actual sample. Now, what is really interesting now is how I've built this solution from a developer point of view. So first of all, let me show you in the command prompt what you can do to create such kind of solution. So Yeoman generator at Microsoft/SharePoint. Just for the sake of speeding up the process, I will skip the install, and I will go through the scaffolding tool to provide all of the input arguments to define and scaffold my solution. Let's see if it will show up, hopefully promptly. So come on, I want to see the UI of the Yeoman generator, and I want to provide all of the input arguments to create my solution. Hopefully it will show up. Okay, here it is. So like always, we need to provide a name for our solution, and I'm going to create an adaptive card extension. Now that I've selected the adaptive card extension, as you can see, we have a specific template, which is the search card template that I can use to create my search card. I can call it search card because I'm a developer and I don't have any kind of fantasy. And the solution is already scaffolded. Of course, I don't have all of the packages, so we will see a bunch of errors in the UI, but I don't care. And here we can see that in the source folder, we have got generated or scaffolded our adaptive card extension for search. What does that mean? Well, the base adaptive card extension is always the same as before if you have been already creating adaptive card extensions previously in your life. But what is really interesting is that the card view right here has been built using the new base components card view base type, so it extends that one. And in the card view parameters, we see that we have the definition of the UI of our card view based on a set of components. So we have the card bar, which is the very top area of the card view. We have the header, we have the body, in which we have the search box component type with a bunch of properties. And then we have a footer where we can provide a suggested result for the search query. You can play with it, and that's what I've done in my real sample. So let me switch to the sample gallery search card. Here I have my adaptive card extension. In the onInit method of my adaptive card extension, I'm relying on a service that will do the actual search. We will eventually dig into it at the end of this demo, but I don't really care about how I search for samples. I do care about how I create the search UI in the adaptive card extensions. And that's why I want to show you that in my card view for search, which is almost like the one automatically scaffolded by the Yeoman generator, I still have my card view parameters method, which will return a nice search card view parameters. But now what I'm doing here is, first of all, to create a footer for my search card view, which will simply provide a predefined suggestion if I don't have anything else to suggest to my user. Then I build the list of the components in my UI, relying on the search box components as before. But now I also have the onChange event registered for this search box, so that whenever the user will change the content of the text box, I can trigger a getSuggested_sample method, which will query my API and retrieve a suggestion for the user. Plus, when the user will click on the button to trigger the actual search, the quick view that I have created in my solution that I will show you shortly will actually show up and provide the whole list of results to my end user. So when I type here in the interface a search query, I can see the preview. And we can see that we set the footer as the result of this search query that I make. And when the user will click on the search button, a quick view will be shown to the user. The quick view is a regular quick view of an adaptive card extension for Viva Connections, and internally the quick view will rely on some data, which will include, for example, the search results item, so all of the items coming out from the search query. So when we do the get data in the quick view to get the data source of our data binding for the UI of the quick view, I simply rely on the search samples method that I have again in my adaptive card extension. And as such, I can provide as the data binding source to my quick view a bunch of useful information, including the search results that I've got from my search query. And as such, in the JSON template of my quick view, I can then render a text box and the information about the number of items retrieved by the search query, as well as a container with a list of items which will be repeated for every single item in the search results, so that I will have a column set for every single item, and I will show the picture of the author, the title of the samples, and the short description of the sample, as well as by clicking on the column, I will be able to trigger the open URL action and open the actual URL of the sample. So again, I click on the search button, I see the quick view. This is the card view with the search template, and this is the actual quick view with the whole list of the results. And of course, I can search from here as well and trigger a new search query. Just to give you an idea about how it works also under the cover from a search API point of view, I simply have a sample service which I defined as an interface. Then I implemented in a real and actual concrete type, this one, where I can use the service scope pattern for SharePoint framework. And as such, internally, I rely on the HTTP client because the search API is an open API that you can trigger anonymously. And as such, then I have the search and the get suggested methods, which will simply internally use the invoke search, which will make an HTTP post request to my search API and providing as the input the JSON of the search query that I showed you before using Swagger. So it is a really simple solution, but thanks to this new and flexible layout for a search card view, you can easily implement a search box in the dashboard, click on a button, and trigger a whole list of results in a quick view. I think that's all for this demo. Let me switch briefly to the slide just to share with you a few URLs. So here, again, you can find the sample in the sample gallery. And here you can find a couple of useful links if you want to dig into how you can create your own search cards using SharePoint Framework and the Viva Connection dashboard. I think that's all for me. So back to you, Garry.
Thank you very much, Paolo. Great demo. As always, I'll just bring the slides back up. So let's say thank you to our three presenters today. Some awesome demos. It's been very active in the chat. It's been great to see. So if you've really enjoyed this call, you've got good things to say, you want to give us some feedback, then you can do that at aka.ms/community/calls/feedback. And also, if there's things that you didn't like, hey, we could do things better, we'd also like to know about that as well. So please, if you have any comments, feedback, please do share that with us so we can make these calls even better than they already are. Okay, so moving on. If you haven't already, please do check out our official Discord server, where you can connect with others, you can learn and collaborate with your peers. So if that interests you, you're already on Discord, maybe you're not, and you're just going to create an account, go to aka.ms/community/Discord. I hear Adam may be doing a session in there, maybe in the future, about his Viva Connections toolkit from the chat. So that's another reason to maybe join if that's interested you. And thank you for you turning up today and watching our amazing presenters. The recording of this this session will be available in 24 hours on the community YouTube channel. So use aka.ms/community/videos to get to that channel. And if you're not a subscriber already, hit that subscribe button so you get the notifications of all the videos that are uploaded from now and into the future. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we have 2 accounts. We have at Microsoft 365 Dev and at M365PnP. The next Viva Connections and SPFx call is going to be November the 16th. And the next M365 and Power Platform call will be next Tuesday on November the 9th. And just a reminder, if you need any information about the community calls that we have running, go to aka.ms/community/calls to see the schedules, invite information, and how to join. And with that, thank you very much. See you soon.